Greetings, Star Trek Fleet Commanders. I am the Angry Rhino. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. See here talking about Fleet Commander Kirk and more specifically one of his abilities. Something that somebody reminded me of in one of my more recent videos. I think one of the ones where talk about hostile grinding crews. Mentioned Harry Kim and the fact that he put on morale. Now, I think at the time of that video, I actually didn't have Harry Kim maxed. Since then, I have maxed him, which is very cool. So, looking for instances and maybe reasons to get him on one of my ships, even though I don't run explorers that much. Some abilities, or some, let's say, researches, there are a few in the Nova Squadron, actually all of them in the Nova Squadron. It doesn't specifically say what ship you need to be on, or what ship your opponent is, or in what form of battle. It just says, hull breach is on your opponent, you get this. When burning's on your opponent, you get this. When you have morale, you get this. And more specifically to what we were talking about in that video was Troy and her critical damage. It's not that high, it's what, 60%? I guess mine is, I don't know what yours is. It is something, it is an increase, but it's not the most you can get with that, let's say, below deck ability. Harry Kim at his max morale. Take a look at this skill for Fleet Commander Kirk. While your ships have morale, they gain critical damage. So right now I'm at level 14 with this, so I get an extra 135%. So putting Harry Kim in there instead of Deanna Troy, better? Yep. Especially when you look at this, and what does it say? Where does it activate? When does it activate? It just activates. Should be working for all hostiles, armadas, invading entities, and even in PvP. Let's take a look at those. How do I get to them now? Alright. The researches. Yeah, I haven't done a lot of these. I know. I need to get off my ass and do these. I guess, again, because I've been waiting for, spend this currency, and I either keep forgetting or I don't have enough currency because I wasn't leveling up the dumbass building. Something at some point you just need to get over. I know. I understand that. I'm working towards it. I'm upgrading the building now. Since we're talking about morale, look. Isolated damage when your ship has morale. Mitigation. The first column is all isolated damage. The second column is all mitigation. And it's when you have the specific states. Each row applies to the specific state. Column is more ability based. For burning, you just get more weapon damage. For morale, you get shield repair. Nice. Could really benefit you guys. I'm not sure what level you can get some of these at. But the old school for me, G3 Epic Enterprise, and its shield repair with putting Kirk in there. Yeah, with Harry Kim, you don't need to. You can load up for maximum damage, toss Harry Kim below deck. You're getting all that shield repair based on the Enterprise's ship ability. And this one. That's cool. Don't even need Spock anymore. And for hull breach, you reduce the opponent's critical damage. It is very important to remember some of these things. More specifically this one, because this, depending on the level you have this, can have the greatest benefit. I mean, for some of you, could be the increase of 100% critical damage. That's kind of a lot. Yeah, I know some of us have, I think I was looking at some of the numbers the other day, and I have about 1400% critical damage. Does another 100% really do that much for me? Meh. A bit of column A, a little bit of column B, yes, no. When you think about your critical damage, it isn't really the end of it, right? After your critical damage is factored in, that's not the end of your damage, because there's also isolytic damage, which comes based off that. So increasing your critical damage by 100% also increases your isolytic damage. You could actually get maybe closer to 200%, since, let's say, 100% more critical damage, like 100% more isolytic damage, right? Kinda. Let's say at least a shot's worth. That's what we're talking about, 100%. Could turn out to be a lot for some of you. And to a certain extent, actually move the needle in, let's say, size of hostiles you're able to take down now. Number of hostiles, if that's what you're going for. High volume in hostiles instead of, let's say, 1 or 2 big hostiles, you want to kill like 15 hostiles. Something like that. Can that help some of you in your Q trials? The higher and higher you get your Q trials, the higher and higher you can take some of these forbidden techs, which are getting some more free-to-play sourcing for some of these catalysts and proto matter. Can have a wide-reaching benefit here. And why I really wanted to bring this up was I knew this existed, but I got reminded of it because there are so many stupid-ass abilities. Sometimes you just can't keep track of all of them. There's just way too many. What we need to do is remind each other every once in a while. Maybe talk about them more, and therefore maybe we'll forget about them less. Sure. Now, it can be somewhat hard to get these rare Voyager officers maxed. I feel like over the past 2 years-ish, they've been incredibly stingy with the officer sourcing. Even some of the more recent ones that have come out in, let's say, Wave Defense or X-Borg and Excelsior and NX-01, Arena. Excuse me. I still feel like they're very stingy. Okay, you can get 1 or 2 shards a day for some of the... Excuse me. Again, for a few of these officers, you can get, okay, 1 or 2 shards a day. Well, if you need 1,000 to max, what does that really do? Not much of anything. So then, would you or would you not forget that some of these abilities or researchers or what have you can really play off of some of these officers, especially at higher tiers? Yeah. It's a really short video for me, I know. I'm not going to keep going with this video much longer. This is really what I wanted to do here. I wanted to remind you that this skill existed. Just like somebody did for me, I'm trying to pay it forward and do it for you. Yes, okay, I know there's some of you out there that remember this ability existed. For me, it was mainly because I know how the number generator is in this game, or I know how it treats me. And it doesn't treat me very well. So, without a max Harry Kim, I wasn't caring about, let's say, abilities like this. Because I just assume they're not going to activate for me. Because this game hates me. Or in maybe some cases, it's really not going to change anything because some of these hostiles I'm killing in 2 rounds. What's something like this going to do for me if I may only get it to trigger once? Maybe. And that's a maybe. That's like a 50% chance that it'll trigger. It may not trigger at all. But again, reminding each other. That is one thing that really has kept this game going. It's the community and how we, for most people and at certain times, have no problem helping other players out and making their game experience even better. It's a kind of a great thing about this. So comment below, did you remember this skill existed? Have you been taking advantage of this skill? Where are you at with those really nice Voyager rares? Neelix, Torres, Harry Kim. Guess what? You can put all three of them on your ship. Yep. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm the Angry Rhino. Shields up, Commanders.